Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most haunting time capsules of World War II, the wreck of the Japanese supply ship Irako, lying deep beneath the waters of Coron Bay in the Philippines. This is not just a wreck dive, it's a journey back to 1944, into the middle of the Pacific War.
Okay, so this is gonna be your first dive for today. The name of this rig, this is we call Irako maru. Okay, so this is a Japanese ship also. This is bomb of September 24, 1944 by the American. Okay, so the length of this rig, this is like 145 meters long from the bow until here to the stern section. Okay, maximum depth will be 42 to 45 meters. So this is the most deepest wreck here in Coron, Irako maru. Okay, and also this is the most dangerous wrecks. Basically, this one we call 3D, stand for dark, dangerous, and deep. Okay, so gonna bring you on the CPS area of this wreck, which is was going inside of the first deck level of the wreck only. We do a half penetration, that's only here. So this is the plan. Listen guys, we will go down at the line here. So this line was connected on the mast about 15 or 14 meters before you reach the mast, and then after that we'll go down all the way to 30 meters. The main deck it's 30 meters, right? Okay, and then after that we will go in here on the second cargo hold. We'll swim on the first deck level all the way here on the first cargo hold. Okay, and then swim all the way here, and they will exit on the anchor room, like on the control room. Okay, and then we'll exit here, and then please check your deco time limit. Okay, if you have 3 to 5 minutes before deco, so 100% we are out of the wreck, so you can explore your rest time here at the top. So you see, this is the gun placement for the anti-aircraft machine gun, but there's no gun. It's after the war they took it, everything here. Okay, all right, so please be careful your feeling inside of the wreck, or else the diver on the back didn't see anything. So yeah, because inside of this wreck we see nothing. Okay, what we're gonna see inside? Darkness. Okay, that's why you must be always close to your dive body. Follow your guide for the safety reason. Okay, all right, so bottom time it will depend to our air consumption, but somebody reach 60 bar, you know the rules. This is deep, we're just gonna go up everybody for the safety. Okay, and also I have drop tank, the extra tank if somebody need it. I drop it for 5 meters if you need some air, if you have out of air, run of air. Okay, so you can do your safety stuff if you need it. All right, okay, on the top it's really nice, a lot of fish. So this is the bridge. This bridge was already collapsed. Okay, that's why we're not be able to do a penetration there. And also when you go inside of the engine room, that's the part totally dangerous. There's a lot of place was already collapsed. It's really tiny. If you kick badly, you lose inside. So before, we have way back 2017, we have one diver died here. Okay, lost inside because totally zero visibility. I suggest that's why you need to follow your guide for our safety. And then yeah, that's it.
In this vlog, we'll explore the eerie corridors of Irako, talk about the ship's wartime history, and show you what it's like to visit this underwater giant today. We're about to drop onto the Irako Current's light. Visibility looks not great, and it's making it a more serious dive, depth overhead environment, and a lot of rust. Let's go have a look respectfully. Dropping down the line, the first thing that appears out of the blue is the shadow of the bow gradually resolving into solid steel. Irako sits nearly upright on the seabed with a deck around 30-35 meters and the deepest parts going down to roughly 40-45 meters. The bomb hits the doomed to left clear marks on the upper structures, the midships area, where the superstructure and some of the cargo spaces were. Shows the most obvious damage with collapsed sections and jagged openings. Nature has reclaimed much of this metal soft coral sway where crew once walked and schools of fish weave in and out of portholes and ladders, turning a battlefield casualty to a thriving reef. Penetration dives on Irako are for trained wreck divers only, but even just inside the safer openings you feel the atmosphere change. The light narrows to your torch beam and the lines of passageways and ladders hint at how complex this ship once was. Irako wasn't a battleship or an aircraft carrier. She was a refrigerated food supply ship for the Imperial Japanese Navy, built to keep the fleet fed far from home. Designed as a provision vessel, Irako could carry enough food to supply around 25,000 men for roughly 2 weeks, including perishables that needed cold storage. In a modern navy, we think of fuel and ammunition first, but for Japan's far-flung Pacific operations, a ship like Irako was just as critical. She served as part of the logistic backbone of the combined fleet, moving between bases such as Truk and other forward areas, quietly making sure frontline forces had the food supplies they needed to keep fighting. Irako was built in Japan by Kawasaki Shipbuilding and entered service shortly before the Pacific War, officially classified as a food supply ship in the Imperial Japanese Navy. Once the war began, she spent much of her career shuttling provisioned vegetables, meat, other foodstuff between mainland Japan major anchorages like Truk Lagoon and Key Island outposts, sometimes traveling in convoys, protected by destroyers and escorts. As Allied submarines and aircraft increasingly targeted Japanese shipping, auxiliary ships like Irako became prime targets because knocking out logistics meant starving frontline units of supplies and weakening Japan's ability to sustain the war. By September 1944, the tide of war in the Pacific had turned. U.S. carrier task forces were ranging deep into Japanese-held waters, hitting shipping wherever they could find it. Irako found herself in the crosshairs of Task Force 38, the powerful American carrier force conducting massive air raids in the Philippines. On the 21st of September 1944, Irako was in the area during U.S. air attacks and reportedly took part in rescuing survivors from other Japanese ships that had been struck, including the destroyer Satsuki. She then headed toward Coron Bay, trying to find safety among the islands and anchorages. Instead, Coron became a trap. On the 24th of September 1944, aircraft from Task Force 38 launched a long-range strike against Japanese shipping hiding among these islands. Irako was hit by multiple bombs around the midsection and upper decks, caught fire, and slowly sank with heavy loss of life. Instead, Coron became a trap. On the 24th of September 1944, aircraft from Task Force 38 launched a long-range strike against Japanese shipping hiding among these islands. Irako was hit by multiple bombs around the midsection and upper decks, caught fire, and slowly sank with heavy loss of life. She was later officially decommissioned after the war, but her true grave is here, deep beneath the surface, where divers now visit her remains. At this depth, bottom time is limited, so every minute counts. As we approach the hull, you can see decades of coral growth and marine life turning the scars of war into an artificial reef. Swimming along the starboard side, you get a sense of just how big this supply ship was. For a vessel focused on food and stores, Irako has the bulk and presence of a small freighter, with towering sides and cavernous holds. equally important is respect. This is not a theme park but a war grave and an historic site. Touch as little as possible, take nothing but footage, and leave only bubbles. On the way up during deco, there's time to let it all sink in. The story of a ship built to keep a navy supplied, sunk in a single violent day, and now visited by people from all over the world who come here to learn, to remember, and to dive.